What's up, everybody? This is Claveria, and in today's episode, I'm gonna show you on how to identify your money-making activities that increases your revenue in your MLM. So here's the big question: if you are a real network marketer like us, who see that MLM is an amazing opportunity to build real assets for yourself, how to explode our team by using marketing strategies without even mentioning the MLM company we're in, or even the products. How to recruit our dream prospects into our own downlines without even depending on our family and friends, and create big incomes yet still have a lot of time to do the things that we actually want. That's the real mystery that this podcast will give you the answer. So, here's the new tactics without those old traditional MLM methods. My name is Claveria, and welcome to MLM Branding Secrets. Hey, what's up, guys? What I've been doing actually in the past few days is determining what are the things that are important to focus on, to move the levers for my business. What is the most important things and activities that I need to focus on that's gonna matter for a long time, not in the short time, right? There's some ways so we can be busy but not be productive, right? But the question I always ask myself is how can I make this more productive? Not just in the short term, but strategies for the long term, right? What are the things that's gonna matter for me even after a year, a 2 or 3 years in doing network marketing? What are those things that really matters, right? So, I'm gonna show you on how I identify it for you to also do it into your network marketing business, right? Because when I first started in this online game, actually I didn't really understand it. I just do what others people are doing, and then thought if it's really good, right? And see if it works and if it doesn't. So I've been focusing on trying and testing things out. So instead of me wasting my time for doing that again and again, I keep asking myself, what are the big things that I can do that's gonna matter for a long time, right? I invested in some of the things just to see what happens. So right now, I want to maximize my time. And I want to also teach you on how you can maximize your time. What are the strategies and activities that's gonna matter for your business, right? That is aligned for the freedom lifestyle, time freedom, financial freedom. Because chances are, I see many network marketers, they are having their dream income, they're having more income, but they don't even have time freedom. Right? Why? Because some people in network marketing can't do and run the business without themselves. Let's say if they go to a vacation 1 year, or let's say 2 months or 3 months, the business stops, right? The business stops. So how can we prevent that? Right? What are the activities that really matters for you to run the business? Okay? So until I ask myself, okay, if I am just starting, I have to have a minimum cost but a maximum results, right? How can I build this at a very low cost and it will just increase over time? So what I found out as this there's a strategies on how you can define it and make it like a compounding effect, right? If you're doing investing in money, right, the interest rate is compounding. Let's say if you do it for a while, for 30 days, a year, it compounds by itself. Meaning what you did 30 days ago is gonna matter even after some time. So what are those strategies? Right? So this is how I identify them. Okay, so I want you to be very clear in this because clarity on this means cash. guys, means time freedom for me and financial freedom for me. And not just me, but for the people who are also under me, for also those leaders under me. Okay? In the present and into the future. Okay, so I'm gonna share to you how I identify things. Okay, so let's start. So number one, guys, is first of all, identify what your goals are. Okay? Begin with the end in mind. Identify what your goals are. Okay? What are your crazy goals? Okay? Do you have your crazy goals? Meaning, if your crazy goal is just to earn some six figures or for just money, that's okay. Right? But if that's normal to you, that's not crazy anymore. Okay? When you say crazy, it's a very, very big goal. Right? Let's say I want my crazy big goal is to earn nine digits income monthly, right? And have 1,000 people under me joining every month, every day, or at least a year, right? And a crazy goal of 10,000 leaders under me worldwide. Huh, that's a crazy big goal, right? Those are some of the things that I've been doing and I've been focusing on. How can I do that, right? So you have to be very, very clear on your goals are. What are your big, crazy goals, right? Is it a dream lifestyle? What's your dream lifestyle? Do you want to travel every single week, every single month, right? So dream income. What are the dream income that you want? What's the dream income that you want? Is it six figures, seven figures, or eight figures, or nine figures per month? Determine it. Okay, and then after that, you need also leaders, right, for your business. So how many leaders do you want? Okay, how many leaders do you want? So just identify your big goals are. What are the results that you want if money is not a problem anymore? If you become successful in this, what are the things and the goals that you have? Okay, so be very, very clear on that. So first one is identify your goals. Okay? Because if you don't know where you're going, you're gonna caught up on others' goals. Right? So first one is identify your goal, your own very goal. Okay? The next one is, guys, right now, in your present, right? We're looking in the future in the number one. Second one is right now, identify your money making activities. What are the activities that causes you money right now? Okay, let's say you're just starting in network marketing and you need people to introduce the business, right? So those are one of the things that causes you money. Okay, because you need people to see the presentations and join the business or buy the product. So that's one of your money making activities, right? So how do you get people? Is it on social media strategy? Is it approaching people? Is it getting to know people? Or is it asking a friend or your family or relatives if they know someone? Right? Just identify it. What's the activities that you are doing right now that is causing money? Okay? What are those things? We're looking at the present. Okay, what are those things? Okay, so let's say those are what are the activities that generate leads, right? Activities that generates leads, make you find people, how you find people, okay? And then after that, what are the activities that generates the sale? Let's say selling the product. How do you sell the product? Or doing presentations. That's a money making activity, right? It's a sales activity. When you're getting people that don't know you yet, it's a lead generation activity. Another thing is the sales generation activity is presentations, right? Selling the product. So a lead generation activity, sales generation activity is somewhat of that. Then after that, guys, you need to understand also training people. Because if those people just join the business for the sake of just joining and not doing the business, you're not creating cash flow. Okay? You're not in for the long term. Because when people join, and uh, and bought a product or join your membership, right? Join your team. Chances are you're gonna earn one time, but how do you make it a repeated one? So you have to understand on how to train them, right? Those also training also produces money making activities because you're teaching those people who just joined you or your leaders under you on how to produce income, and you'll get a commission for that, right? That's the beauty of network marketing. Okay, so how do you train people? Okay, just in figure it out. Okay, just figure it out and understand it on how you train people. Okay, how do your team train people, or how do you train your people? Right, because chances are, as your group gets bigger, you have to train your people. You have to train your members, your leaders, on how to do things effectively for your network marketing business. Okay, so another thing is it online or offline? And just put it out there if you're doing online or if you're doing offline right now. I actually have a list of my present activities, right? I want to show you, but it's so long. Okay? So just identify. I'm just gonna guide you on how you can identify these things. Okay, or another thing is your present activities right now is meetings, right? We need meetings. We meet our leaders, we do let's say online meetings or offline meetings, right? So those are your activities. What are your business activities? Okay, do you meet people? Do you do it face to face? It's for the business. So those are money making activities. So identify those. Okay, after that, guys, we're going to number three. Okay, we're going to number three, which is identifying the cost of those activities. You understand? Because most people stop at number two, which is identifying their activities. But you have to understand, guys, if you want to make money, you have to understand the cost of it and your earnings. Okay? So you have to understand the very, very clarity of this for the cost of doing those activities. Because chances are you're gonna get confused on why you are not earning money. Why are you not earning your time freedom, your financial freedom? Because chances are you stop at number two. So you have to go to number three, which is identifying the cost of those activities. Okay? So next one is let's say, right, this identifying the cost of those activities. What is the cost of time? Okay, what is the cost for money? Let's say time. You're doing right now. People are staying at home, right? If you're staying at home and messaging people in the internet just to introduce the business, that is costing you time, right? That's the cost of your time. So let's say you're messaging people and explaining it to them and inviting them to a business presentation that costing you time. Let's say you're doing that for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, or 5 hours, right? So how much time do you need for that lead generation? Another thing is doing presentations. If you're doing presentations, guys, what is the cost of that? What is the cost on your time? What is the cost of your money? Right? If you're doing one-on-one presentations and let's say live presentations, it's costing you time, right? Another thing is if you're meeting people face to face, it's also costing you money. Another thing is if you're doing an online live which uses software, right? So it's costing you also money. So identify what's the cost of time and what is the cost of money. Okay? So, how much money does it take for you to get a people or an interested one to watch the presentation? Okay, how much does it cost you? What's the cost of time? What's the cost of your money? Another thing is when they got interested in watching the presentations, what is the cost if you are doing the presentation? Right? From the interested part to, okay, I want to join now. What's the cost of that? Understand? Okay, after that, when they join, what is the cost of you from, okay, I want to start right now. What will I do from there? And then from the after that is okay, I know what to do now. Okay? So what is the cost of that? Identify your time and money cost on doing those activities. Okay, you have to be very, very clear. From just give an overview on this from people who don't know you and the people to the people who already know how to run the business. That's the gap that you're looking. Okay, from people who don't know you and from the people who wants to do the business and knows how to do it. That's the gap, right? So what's causing you in that gap? What's the cost of time? What's the cost of money? I have to understand it. Okay, I'm looking this as a business standpoint, not just doing and doing and doing repeated again and again. Because chances are, if I don't identify this, the members and leaders under me are also not gonna get clear if they are really earning and their time freedom or financial freedom. If they are really earning money and if they also are maximizing their time. Okay, so as a leader, you have to identify those things. Okay, identify the cost of those activities. Okay, so that's number three, the cost of time, the cost of money. We don't even include the cost of stress if you're stressing out, right? Okay, so that goes us to number four, guys. Now, if you gonna remember the number one, right? Your goals. If you're gonna get the results that you want, if you're gonna get those goals, right? Does your activities align to your goals? Those activities align to your goals. Let's say if you do it 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, if you do it again and again, does it align to your goals? Does it align to financial freedom or time freedom? Okay? Or can you travel around the world if you want to travel whilst your business is still growing? Does it matter for your goal? You understand? Because chances are, some people, I see many people right now are constantly messaging people just to earn and get interested people to watch the presentations. And they've been doing it for hours and many days for a long time. Some are even doing it for a year or second year or third year, right? Doing it again and again. They can't have their time freedom because they need to run the business. To understand? So if you are very clear on this, find those activities that leads you to your time freedom and financial freedom. Okay? You have to identify it. Because if you're not very clear on this, chances are you're gonna wake up after some time and you're wondering, why are you wasting your time? Why are you not attaining your time freedom or your financial freedom? You understand? Okay? So, is it duplicatable also? Right? Is it duplicatable? If you're doing it, is it duplicatable for your people? Right? Because chances are, if you are doing some activities that needs you to run the business, chances are the people who will join you will also get caught up to run the business. Do you understand? Because you're not seeing the end of it. So those people will also don't see the end of it. Right? You're gonna get an infinite loop of doing and doing and doing the business. You're trading time for money. You're not actually doing the business. So find ways on how you can trade your time in a more meaningful way, in what more matter, what matters most in the business. Okay, maybe I'll give you a strategy on this, on my basic strategy, because I want to show you guys on how you can design a strategy for this, and maybe that I'll show you in another episode. Okay, so find it. Okay? Determine your activities and if it really matters. Is it aligned to time freedom, financial freedom, leadership, or through duplications, or your lifestyle that you want? right? Okay, you understand? If you're not getting clear onto this, let's say if you're doing one-on-one presentations over and over again, or mass presentations that required you in doing that presentations, chances are if you times 10 that amount of people, can you handle them? Okay, let's say if you can only handle 20 people or 100 people at a time, and then do the trainings for them to know exactly what to do. Okay, what if those 100 people became 1,000 people? Can you handle those people, then train them for them to know exactly what to do, while also you're getting leads and doing presentations, because that's part of the business, right? That's part of your business. So you have to understand what are those activities that will give you a time freedom and financial freedom. Okay, so, guys, I want you to understand that practice does not make perfect. Okay? Practicing, doing it over again does not make it perfect. Only perfect practice makes perfect. Okay? That's a quote that I've just stumbled on actually. Practice does not make perfect, but only perfect practice makes perfect. What I understand in this is make sure you're taking the right step in the right direction. Okay? Because chances are, if you're not even knowing, if you don't even know that you're taking the steps to the right direction, you're going to the wrong direction. You should if you fail to plan, you'll plan to fail. You're planning to fail. Right? So you have to understand if you are taking your business to the right direction. Okay? You're the leader. Remember? Okay, another thing, guys, is goes us to number five. Okay? From the number one, right, identifying yung goals. After that is identifying your present activities. That goes us to number three. What are the costs of those activities? Right? The cost of time and money. Another thing is the number four is, does it align to your goals? Right? Now, I'm gonna give you the big difference of why network marketers become successful fast from the others. It's because of this number five, guys. If you identify those things, here's the next question. Okay? How can you do that within the next 6 months? Huh? How can you achieve your crazy goal within the next 6 months? Hmm. That is something that think about, right? I got this from a billionaire on how billionaires think. Okay, that's how they make their money. We all have 24 hours, right? Because we have limited time, but the only difference is how they spend their time in doing those activities that really matters. So that's the big difference of that. They're gonna make a crazy goal, and then after that they're gonna ask themselves, how can I make this and achieve this within the next 6 months? Even if I haven't achieved that, I am closer to that goal. And people will get crazy because, yeah, it's really crazy on how you can achieve that crazy goal, right? Right. And that's a big difference of this. So start, guys, at the lowest possible cost, but maximizing your effort, right? One thing, guys, is me doing this content. This is me, one of my strategies in maximizing my time. I can just record this and then put it in the internet, and you're watching or hearing this on what you're using right now, right? Whether it's your phone, your laptop, or your desktop. Right? I don't have to do this over and over again just to explain things out. Okay? So understand that the game of MLM or being a millionaire is, if you want to earn 1 million, you have to help millions. So if you're just using an activity to help hundreds, guys, you're not even close to 1 million. Okay? So focus on those activities that will help millions. Right? And another thing, guys, is to remember is create cash flow, not a one-time cash. Okay? Because why? Cash flows create cash. Cash doesn't create another cash. Cash flow creates cash. Okay? Some cash flows requires money to flow, right? But it's a cash flow. Understand? Do you understand? Okay? So your business is actually have to be dependent on cash flows activities, cash flow activities. What are the activities that creates cash flow into the business? Another thing that I want to really give to you guys is leaders. In the MLM industry, if you want to help millions, right? The next answer is you need to have leaders. So you have to have activities that produces those leaders because those leaders will create cash flow for the business, right? And you also have to teach those leaders to create cash flow for their business, which is so amazing, right? And the beauty of network marketing is you can start it at a very low cost, but you have to understand how to maximize your time and your money to do the business. Okay? So ask yourself, if you're doing an activity, is it worth your time? Is it gonna matter? Does it really matter for the business? Right? That this will this produce a continuous cash flow for the business? Because if you're just doing a one-time cash, let's say if you're doing just an activity for a one-time payment for the membership, guys, chances are you are the cash flow. You understand? You're not creating cash flow. You are the cash flow. That's why when people get out and stop or do a vacation, right? They get out of the business. Those cash flow stops because they are the cash flow. Understand? Okay. So understanding you versus your tools, right? If those activities really need your very personal attention, let's say you have an online meeting and you are the host, they need your personal touch. Yeah, you can replace it with tools, right? But doing presentations, actually, you can replace it with tools. What are the tools? Videos, right? You can just do a video and then do the presentations, right? Instead of you doing the presentation over and over again, that presentation will do the cash flow for you. Do you understand? Okay? I hope you're getting this. So I hope you're also building your cash flow through leaders, guys, through leaders, because the big game of network marketing is actually it's a leadership producing industry. It's a leadership development industry that on the side creates cash flow, on the side creates income, big income. Why? Because you're building leaders and leaders build your business. Do you understand? Okay. So I hope you're getting this and I hope you're learning something new for the business for you guys, and I hope you identify all those money making activities that really matters for your business, because I want you to maximize your time and build your business. I want to be really successful in this, right? Because I've identified this and I don't want to waste another time doing something that I'll regret. So I want to give you guys on how I designed this, right? Identifying my activities, my income producing activities. So instead of me just sharing with you my activities that you won't even understand if you don't know the strategies, I give you the format or the framework on how I identify those activities. Isn't that amazing? So you can identify your activities and figure out ways on what activities that really matters. Okay? So, guys, what's your biggest takeaway in this? What's your biggest learning that you realize that's very important for your business? You can just share a screenshot of this and just tag me on Instagram, and I love to give you a shout out. I like to give you and share you to my story on what are the things that you realize. Okay, what are the favorite episodes that you've been in, and maybe if you're watching this on YouTube, what's your biggest takeaway? What's your biggest aha moment that you realize in the moment of this video. Okay, just comment it below this video, and it helps me to identify if this video is really valuable for you, and what are the things that I can also add for my future episodes. Okay? So I hope, guys, that you learned something in this. And if you want to get a deep dive for the strategies, you can just go to the MLMBrandingSecrets.com and get your MLM branding pack today. Okay? So, guys, subscribe and see you on the next video. Bye bye. Hey, thanks for listening. Do you want more strategies to build your own business? Then please remember to subscribe and leave feedback. Would you like me to teach your own downline 5 simple MLM recruiting tips for free? If so, then go download your free MLM branding pack today by going to MLMBrandingSecrets.com.